I'm Kristof, a columnist for the New York Times and also co-author with my wife of the book Half the Sky about women around the world. I think, like a lot of people interested in international relations, I kind of had to be dragged into this. Originally I thought that for an issue to be serious, it had to involve missiles, START talks, international trade, and that women and girls were kind of soft and worthy, but peripheral. But there's been a bit of a change in how global poverty and global health is perceived, and I think what's happening at CGI both reflects that and also helps shape it. And one of the elements of that change is there's a growing sense that you need to have a much greater focus on women and girls. And that's not just because they're the people who often suffer the most, but maybe more importantly, if you want to fight poverty effectively, you just get more bang for the buck by investing in girls' education, for example, than in education as a whole, in shaping women entrepreneurs, giving them the tools to start businesses, than doing that as a whole. I think historically people who cared about this issue tended to focus on the terrible things that happened to women, and those are very true. I mean, I truly believe that just as in the 19th century the central moral challenge for the world was slavery, in the 20th century it was totalitarianism, this century it is just this profound gender inequity. But I also think that, frankly, that's an argument that tends to appeal to those who already care about the issue. And that if you're trying to reach skeptics, then the argument that they find more compelling is just the considerable evidence that investing in women promotes development, chips away at poverty, and also tends to build security. And if we're worried about Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, trying to figure out how we can make those countries more stable, then there's abundant evidence that one of the most cost-effective ways to do that is to, for example, get more girls in school and bring women into the labor market, out of the margins of society. Just as you look at what countries have been able to make progress against poverty and their strategies in doing so, then it's evident that this is a strategy that works. And it's not, I think there's a misperception sometimes this is effectively pitting women against men. And there's nobody are greater beneficiaries of investing in women and raising living standards as a result than men in a community. And I think there's a growing appreciation of that. And the American military, for example, really gets this. One of the metrics they use in Afghanistan to measure stability is the proportion of girls who go to school. And when you get a hard-bitten general talking about, one moment about airstrikes and the next moment about getting more girls in school, just as a purely practical matter, putting aside all the injustices, women and girls aren't the problem, they're the solution.